Alright, good afternoon everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 2nd, 2012. The results this morning, we are flat. We took 3 trades, all of them were break even. I'll go through them all in just a few minutes. If you have not taken a trial with us, please go to www.cfrn.net/apply and sign up for the free trial. With the free trial, there is no credit card required. All we need is your name and email address, and you will get access. You'll get an email. In the email, there are links to download everything you see here. You download the charting platform. There's a video that shows you how to do that. Download the charting platform. You will be sent an email with an ID and password. That is good for 2 weeks for DT Pro. You will then be able to download our indicator set. That's also in the video. That is good for 5 business days. And then you will be sent a link to get into the live trading room in the morning. In the live trading room for 2 hours a day for 5 business days, you can ask as many questions as you want, and we'll do our very best to answer them all. And teach you how to use all the indicators and take the trade setups and all that stuff. All right. Again, that's www.cfrn.net/apply. All right, the trades today, you can see right here on the ES, this was the trade that I took this morning. I'll show you what actually happened. 9:36, we were going into a weekly trading zone. I wasn't looking to take long trades while it was going into the zone. Over here, when it pulled back up to the BBC, we had rising bottoms right here, so I didn't take the short trade. It came back down and hit the BBC right here, again going into the zone. I wasn't interested in that trade. It pulled up over here. Now this was an okay trade for me. I went short. I was actually a little late getting into it. I missed it because I was going over a Russell trade at the time, the initial entry, but it was still okay to take the trade. I got in where I should have gotten in at 1438.75 is where I actually entered, and it pulled against me about 3 or 4 ticks, and it went toward the profit target 5 ticks. I moved my stop to break even once we closed below the MA1, and it had gone a point, minimum point in favor of the trade. It came back up and stopped me out. You can see if I'd have stayed in it longer, it drew down to 1440, which would have been 5 ticks. I had an 8-tick stop, and then it worked its way down into the weekly trading zone. So it would have worked out had I not been aggressive with my risk management, but you know what? I had to be aggressive with my risk management. We had this period right here was very choppy, and you can see this period right here was very choppy. Any period, I mean, any movement was followed by a very choppy period today. So I was actually considering taking 1 point when I had it, but I didn't. That was all there was on the ES this morning. Okay. Over here on the NQ, I don't think I took any trades on the NQ this morning. There were a few that set up. Again, not as many as we normally see. But let's see. We'll start here at 9:30. It dropped right through the BBC and through the yellow line, pulled back up over here. There was a test of the BBC with a down close here, but the cycle was moving up. Now, let me just tell you what the actual setup is so you understand what you're looking for. I'll show it over here. You look for a bearish cross, in this case, of the MA1 below the BBC. The MA1 is this little blue and red line. The BBC is the green line. You look for that, then price is going to come back up toward the BBC, which stands for bull bear cross, and look for some resistance, a resistance area. Now, when it's doing that, you want to look down here and see divergence between this green line and the cycle portion right here. All right, if you have that divergence, it indicates that it's a short-term pullback. It's just looking for an area of resistance, and once it finds that resistance and closes, in this case down, that's where you get in. So right there would have been the spot to enter for that move down. All right, now on the opposite direction, right over here you had a bullish cross and a pullback and test of the BBC here with an up close and bullish divergence down here. Okay, so right there would have been the spot to go long. I was watching these right here. They hadn't touched the BBC, so I didn't take any of them, and then when this one happened, I missed it, and I was looking at something else. You wouldn't have taken this, even though it looks like it worked out pretty well, because the cycle was moving up, the divergence was going away. All right. I highlighted this little spot right here because this was a momentum trade. For those of you guys who are partners, you know what I'm talking about when I mention a momentum trade. There was opportunity right there to get in and take that. Right here, you had a pullback and tested the BBC with an up close. There was some bullish divergence in here, right there. Okay, not the best bullish divergence because the cycle portion was not overbought. It was kind of in the middle. But anyway, it gave a little bit of movement up, about 6 ticks before it finally turned around. There was an opportunity to short over here. Now, not the best opportunity because the cycle's going against it, but it was there. Let's see, looking through quickly here, we had, this is going the wrong way. We had a bullish cross, tested the BBC with an up close, going right into the yellow line right there. That was at 11:44. That was during the break. Just looking for some other ones in here. Anyway, that was the NQ. All right. Now, what I would like everybody to understand here is that as I switch from market to market, all these 4-tick range charts, the setups are all the same. Okay, the setups are exactly the same. Hang on. Yes. You working on a response? Excellent. The setups are all the same over there. Let me quickly just look at, Frank, for your benefit. We'll look at the 30-minute. All right, we came down right here, tested the yellow line, gave a very bullish candle right here with the up close, that big wick on the bottom. The next candle moved all the way up to the next zone and then bounced all the way back down off it. All right, so that's the way it all transpired. It went zone to zone this morning on a 30-minute. If we drop it down to 15, you can see up here when it went up to the zone, it was also with the yellow line, suggesting it was going to move down. And if we flip to a 5-minute, you can see it bouncing off the yellow brick road right here. Well, bounced off it here. What time was this one? This was pre-market. Once the market opened up, it bounced off it right here for a big move down. All right. Good. Excellent. We have the target in sight. All right. Here we go. NQ we covered. The ES on a larger time frame we covered. The YM, we didn't take any trades on the YM either. All for the same reasons we didn't take trades on the ES. It was either going into a zone or it was coming away from a zone, or it had double bottoms or higher lows, like right here. We had higher bottoms and a double bottom right here and then a higher bottom right here. So I didn't go short here. I didn't go long on this one because the ES was going into a zone. I didn't go short over here because we had the higher lows right here again. All right, you can see it bounced off the yellow pretty well right there, but I didn't take that trade. That was right about the end of the morning session right in here. All right, let's jump over here to the crude oil. All right, I took a couple of trades on crude this morning. Both of them break even. There were more opportunities. You can see all these circles. Now the setups are exactly the same. You're looking for the bearish cross to pull back up, tested the BBC with a down close with the bearish divergence. Okay, it's always the same on these 4-tick range charts. I got short in here, and after all this up and down business right here, I finally got out over here. I just took a break-even exit right here, and then of course then it tanked as soon as I took the exit. There was another opportunity right in here to go short off the yellow line. I didn't take that one. I did take a short over here after it had dropped through the yellow line and pulled back up to the BBC right here. I shorted it right here, and I ended up taking a break even on that one as well. Okay, it then pulled up to the yellow line again right here, and when it pulls up to the yellow line and you have divergence, and I'll point one other thing out about this yellow line business. When it pulls up to the yellow line and the MA1 in this particular case is below the BBC when it hits the yellow line, that is more often than not going to give you at least 1 bar's profit in the trade. Much more often than not. Okay, I could point that out probably 50 times this morning between all the markets. Anyway, so you had that big move down there. Over here you had a bullish cross, tested the BBC with an up close with bullish divergence right there. Okay, and you had it again over here. All right, those were all opportunities on the crude, and Right now it's got bearish divergence and it's hitting the yellow line. The MA1 is below the BBC, so it's not looking so great. But right here during the break, there was an opportunity right there, an opportunity there, an opportunity here. Let's see, and an opportunity in here. All right, this one might have stopped you out with 8 ticks risk. Right now, we have a bearish cross. It's testing the BBC. We actually, a down close on this bar would be a short. Okay, even though it's going right into the yellow line. Or what you could have done on a trade like this when things seem to be going in opposite directions here is fade it off the yellow line into the green line, short the green line, back down the way that you normally would. All right. On the 4 tick, the 4 tick was right here. Okay, I didn't go off the yellow line on the ES. I didn't show that this morning. The pullback up to the yellow line was right here. This was actually the second one. The first one was right here, and it dropped right through it. Okay, the second one was right here, and again, you see the MA1 is below the BBC on the pullback up to the yellow line, and that gave a nice move down. All right, the second one was right over here. Again, the MA1 below the BBC for the nice move down. This one over here where it just hit it, the MA1, again, it was right on top of the BBC, pretty much below it, but it's still, you can see right here it's moving down. Okay, so there's one right there, one right in here. It didn't actually hit it right there, it was pretty close, and one right over there. Okay, just off the yellow line. Let's see, I didn't do the Russell. Let me go over the Russell. Okay. What time is it? 12:34. All right, the Russell had some nice moves this morning on the 4 tick range. The first one was up here. This bounced off the yellow line. It went zone to zone here, which was about 6 points, I believe, right? But it pulled up here and it hit the yellow line, gave a down close. It also hit the weekly trading zone at the same time. I pointed that out in the live trading room. And if you look at this, the MA1 is below the BBC on this pullback. I pointed that out in the live trading room this morning too when it was happening. And there was a nice big move down off of that. Okay. Over here, there was no other opportunity to short really off the off the BBC. Right in here there was, but the best trades that you're going to get on the Russell off the BBC are going to be like this one right here, where the MA1 is still red, the cycle is red, you get your pullback, and everything stays red during the pullback and the down close. Those are going to be your best trades on the Russell. There was one there, and this one over here. It turned blue. The MA1 turned blue, but the cycle was still red and headed down. Let's see. Right in here, there was a little difficult area. It tested the BBC, and it didn't go anywhere, so you would have stopped out of this first one. If you took it off the yellow line right here, again, the MA1 in this case was above the BBC. I said it will almost always give you 1 full bar's worth of profit, and that's exactly what this one did. It gave 1 full bar's worth of profit, and then it turned around. Let's see, over here, I didn't take these trades as they were going into the weekly trading zone right here, but it had a bullish cross, and I pointed out it has a bullish cross. It pulled back down to the BBC right here. Now, this was one of those cases where everything was blue. The MA1 was still blue. The cycle was still blue on the pullback and the up close. Okay, so it had a nice move up right there. Let's see, pulled back here. We just had nice divergence. That wasn't an A-grade trade right there, but it worked out pretty well. And I believe that's all I looked at this morning. Over here, this pullback, the MA1 was on the other side of the BBC. So where it pulled back to the yellow line right here, going right into the weekly trading zone. There's no way I would have taken that. And since then, you can see it's bounced off the BBC a couple times up to the zone and back and forth here a little bit inside the weekly trading zone. Right now we have a bearish cross. It's got bearish divergence. If it pulls up and tests the BBC, a down close off of that would be a spot to short. Okay. Now, that's crude. I didn't do anything with gold this morning either. You know what? I'll just let it go. It's all the same stuff on gold. All right. I didn't take any trades on gold this morning. All right. Let me see. Bert's here. David's here. All right. So that's it. If anybody has any questions, you can email us at support@cfrn.net. You can email us at support@cfrn.net, and you can always call us as well. All right. Leave a voicemail. We'll get back to you. And that's it. Gonna wrap it up.